Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bound and Bookmarked. I am Jaleesa. Today's video is kind of different than the videos I usually post. I realized the other day that I very rarely speak about the movies and TV shows that I enjoy in my free time when I'm not reading or when I'm not working or doing schoolwork. And so it got me thinking about all the times where I was on live streams, this time last year, when people would ask, are there any shows that you've watched that are similar to books like this? And so these lists float around quite often on YouTube, but I wanted to do my own because I feel like I have great taste in TV. And I want you all to just experience some of the amazing shows and movies that I've watched over the past few years. So how this is gonna go, we're gonna break down first the movies. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to pick a movie. Well, I already have my list of movies here, but I'm going to bring up the first movie, talk about the synopsis a little bit, and then after that, I will point you in the direction of a book that maybe has similar themes or similar tropes that are being used. So they're not gonna be exact replicas. Either way, they will have some sort of connection to each other. So after I tackle the movies, I will then go into the TV shows. I'm most excited for the TV shows, so let's get right into this entire video. So let's begin with the first movie on my list, and that is Deuces. Deuces is a movie that came out in 2016. For reference, it has actors like Lorenz Tate, Megan Good, Lance Gross, Rotimi, Lala Anthony, so some big names in Hollywood. It follows three people, Deuces, Janet, and Jason. Jason and Janet are brother and sister. Jason also is an undercover cop who is actually asked to pretty much investigate this drug case that's going on. Deuces happens to be at the head of this entire operation. However, Deuces and Janet get involved. So what we have is Janet, the sister, getting involved with the drug dealer, and the brother is investigating him. So it's a lot of conflicting interests here, and I don't know, I love the movie. The book that I picked is Whitney Grandison's A Love-Hate Thing. This is a YA novel, so obviously the age difference is there, but if you read this book, I think you would like this movie, and the reason is because in A Love-Hate Thing, you have a character, I think his name is Trace, if I remember correctly. He is from a neighborhood that is just infused with gang violence, with drugs. He ends up moving to a different part of town with an old family friend who lives kind of in a more affluent area, an area that simply doesn't have to deal with things like gang violence and, well, I won't say not drugs, because they deal with drugs too, just in a different kind of way. So two different perspectives coming together, both falling in love, both in the book and in the movie, and I love them both. So the next movie is You Get Me. This movie stars actors like Bella Thorne, Halston Sage, Taylor John Smith, Nash Grier, some pretty well-known names, mainly Bella Thorne and Halston Sage. This movie shocked me. It really surprised me. So long story short, this new girl, Holly, who is played by Bella Thorne, she moves into town right around the time where Tyler and his girlfriend break up, and Tyler is played by Taylor John Smith. And so when they break up, Holly moves into town, she meets Tyler, they are at a party together having a great time, and they end up spending this night together. Lo and behold, Holly has some obsessive tendencies. What we see in this movie is this young girl become completely immersed in Tyler, and to the point where it gets really dangerous for both of them. This movie is perfect for fans of the TV show You and of the book You. I would also say for fans of The Obsession by Jesse Sutanto, if you like that book, I didn't, but if you like that book, this movie is a pretty good depiction of both of those things. It's much more toned down than the TV show You. It's not quite as disturbing. I mean, it's still disturbing, but it's like you're not in Holly's head like you are in Joe's head, and it's a movie, so it's, obviously much shorter. So if you recently finished the TV show You like I did the other day, and you want more of just obsession and stalking behavior for whatever reason, watch You Get Me. I love this movie. Always Be My Maybe was one of the cutest movies I think I've seen in a very long time. It has actors like Ali Wong, Randall Park, Keanu Reeves, Daniel Day Kim, so some really big names in Hollywood. Ali Wong, I think she's hilarious. I remember my first time seeing her, I watched her stand-up comedy when she was pregnant, and I was in tears from laughing so hard. I mean, she's brilliant. I think she's a great actress. I think she's so funny. If you just want a nice feel-good movie just to make you smile, make you laugh, I mean, and if you love food, get into this one. So this movie centers Sasha and Mark is played by Ali and Randall, and Sasha grew up, wanting to be a chef, the best chef, the one person that you think of when you think of just great cuisine. That's who Sasha wanted to be. So she had a childhood friend, Marcus. They were best friends all throughout their young adulthood, and you know, they crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. And so after that, things just didn't work out for them. They spend years apart. And so one day Marcus ends up on her front doorstep. They kind of, I wouldn't say rekindle their flame, but they get to know each other as adults, and it's just different. Their lives are so different now. One thing I loved about this movie was watching Sasha just go after her dream. It was just really nice to see her have this dream as a child, and then to grow up knowing that she could still have what she wanted if she worked hard. And she worked hard. I thought it was just so great, because a lot of us, we get discouraged. You know, we think as kids we can be anything. We're told you can be anything you want, you can do anything you want to do, and then you grow up and sometimes it's like, you all lied to us. We want to do this and you're telling me that I can't. So why would you tell me that as a kid? But for Sasha, you know, she told people she wanted to be a chef, and she did that. So themes like that just make me they just warm my heart. But the same goes for Marcus. He had a dream as well, and he felt like his dream was just so small. But he kept doing what he loved, even if it didn't make him the most money, even if it didn't make him the most well-known. He kept to his music, and I love that about him. So as a couple, they were so cute. So for this movie, for fans of books like, and I'm not sure how many of you will recognize these titles. I mean, I have talked about them on my channel before, like last year, but for fans in the romance community, especially for Sweet on You by Carla de Guzman or Simmer Down by Sarah Smith, or anyone who loves second chance romances, this movie is right down your alley. If you love childhood friends to lovers, check this movie out. Okay, so moving on to the very last movie that I have is Resort to Love. Also some pretty big names in this movie. For example, Christina Milian, Sinqua Walls, Jay Farrow. So this movie centers Erica, Caleb, and Jason. Jason and Caleb are brothers, and Jason and Erica used to date. They were engaged, and unfortunately their engagement just fell apart. It didn't work out. Erica is a singer. She had these big dreams of being, you know, center stage, and unfortunately her album that was supposed to happen didn't happen. So her career is pretty much tanked right now. And so her friend calls her up one day and is like, girl, I got you a gig. You got to go to, I'm not sure where they're at, like they're at an island resort. I don't think it ever specifies, but she is basically a wedding singer at the resort. Come to find out, her first gig back on the scene is actually to be a wedding singer for Jason and his new bride to be Beverly. You know, I can't imagine being an ex-fiance and saying your ex-fiance getting married and you have to sing at their wedding. That just sounds like a bunch of jumble of feelings that I wouldn't want to deal with. Although we get to see Erica really battle with her feelings for her ex and figure out if she really feels for him or if she's just feeling for the loss of their, you know, failed engagement. You know, sparks may fly between a certain someone's brother and a certain wedding singer. If you're a romance reader and you love rom-coms, boom, there you go. A book for this one, I ended up choosing two, not because they're perfect depictions, but because the feeling I got with this movie are the feelings I got with these books. The first book is Truth or Dare by Danielle Allen. I love this book. You guys know it. It follows these old college roommate friends, and two of them have like this on again, off again thing, but when they come together for their friend's wedding, they have an on again thing. And I loved it. And their friend's wedding was a destination wedding, so they were also at an island resort. And then the other book that I thought of was actually People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Obviously, drastically different stories because you have childhood friends to lovers, but they're on vacation, they travel a lot. So I kind of had that same like travel feel, that tropical feeling with that book as well that I have with this movie. It was cute, I loved it. So let's kind of switch gears here and move on to the TV shows, because I have some good ones for you guys, so pay attention, okay? Take notes, let's go. First show, The Order. I will push this show on everyone until all of you have watched it. Many of you on my channel are Ninth House fans. Like, this is a Ninth House stan account or a stan channel, whatever. I love the idea of secret societies, magic, give me all of that. The Order is exactly that. It's exactly that. And if you also enjoy like the Knights of the Round Table thing, hello, The Order is on Netflix waiting for you to watch it. So I'm gonna read the synopsis because I just feel like it's gonna be better for me to read the synopsis to you. When Belgrave University student Jack Morton joins a fabled secret society, the Hermetic Order of the Blue Rose, he is thrust into a world of magic, monsters, and intrigue. Out to avenge his mother's death, he uncovers dark family secrets and lands in an underground battle being waged between werewolves and practitioners of dark magic. Assisting Jack in the fight is Alyssa, a tour guide at Belgrave and fellow member of the Order, which is led by Jack's estranged father. So this TV show honestly had a lot going on. It was really interesting to see these different battles going on between those two different societies, as well as magic practitioners and monsters. I mean, there were demons and demons. There were lots of them. If you enjoy books like Ninth House, the Atlas Six, Legendborn even. I would even go as far as to say like Amari and the Night Brothers. All of them have that same underlying tone of these societies that are just put here in place for certain reasons, but underneath their so-called mission statements are lies, and the purpose they are actually serving isn't all that you think it is. So all of these books and this TV show have that in common, and I thought it was great. The next show is going to be, it's a favorite of mine. I love this show. I think it's incredible. Lock and Key. First and foremost, Lock and Key is in fact based on a graphic novel, Lock and Key. I have not read it yet. I mean, I plan to at some point. This show follows the Locke family after the father was murdered. So the mother then moves her children to her late husband's family home, and it's called Key House. It's called Key House for a reason. So the kids are just exploring the house, and they find these different keys, and they find these different doors in the house. I mean, the house is huge, it's like a mansion. The way that the keys work is really fascinating to me. So basically these kids walked into, I would say, like, is their legacy. I think that is one of the most imaginative TV shows I've watched in a really long time. It is, I guess it is horror, so I mean, I think now is a great time to watch it. Season 2 just came out literally on the 22nd, I believe, of October. So if you're looking for something kind of spooky but not like too scary, watch it. Unfortunately for the Locke children, there is this demonic entity that's haunting them that wants these keys, and I don't know what the reason is. I don't know yet. I have to watch season 2. It left me on a cliffhanger season 1, so I'm really excited for that. In terms of like books that remind me of this show, I really don't have any. Just know that it's based on a comic book series, so if you're into that, then maybe try the comic books too. Blood and Water. This show, I love it. I saw this show last year when it came out. It came out in 2020. The new season just came out like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. So it takes place in Cape Town, South Africa. This girl, Pulang, she ends up going to this new school, this private school. So yes, they're in the whole get up. You guys know I love the plaid skirt, the jacket, the blazer. I love it. So they have that whole thing going on. But Pulang, she had a sister, an older sister, I believe, maybe a year or two older than she was, and as a child she was abducted, she was stolen, and she's been missing ever since. So one day she gets invited to a birthday party, and the party happens to fall on the same day as her sister's birthday. The girl shares the same birthday as her sister. The girl's name is Fikile. They call her Fix. So Pulang and Fikile become really good friends, and the more Pulang hangs out with Fix, she feels like there is something about her that reminds her of her sister. Like, she just can't shake that feeling like something isn't right here. So Pulang, this guy named Wade, they actually set out on this mission to find all of these different facts, birth certificates, whatever they can to prove that Fix is her sister. And so that's pretty much the whole show. Of course, you have high school themes of high school parties and all that comes with that, the drinking, all that kind of stuff. It's good, y'all. It's good. And the feuding families, Fikile and Pulang's families, it is fire. It is a lot going on between the two of them. This one was hard to find books for because I had never read a book quite like this before with a missing sibling. If you enjoy drama and you enjoy feuding families, found families, and all that comes with being rich and sometimes parentless, so you can imagine where that goes. This show embodies all of that. It really is so great, and these actors are they're so talented. So please give this show a try because I loved it. So this show I just recently watched. It is called Younger. This show is based on the book called Younger by Pamela Redmond, and it is a series. It also has a book called Older, which is the second book, and then there's another book to accompany those called Marriage Vacation. So Younger follows this girl Liza, well, this woman named Liza who's in her 40s, and she had her dream of working in publishing. She got pregnant, she got married, and she had to put her dreams on hold. One day she is applying for jobs, she's getting interviews. All of her interviews go great. She's answering the questions great. She's doing a fine job. The only issue is that she's not young. She's in her 40s. And for whatever reason, people don't want 40-year-olds working in their workplace. She decides to lie about how old she is, and she tries to pose as a 26-year-old publishing hopeful. She lands her an assistant job, and she is thriving. The girl is living her best life. She's going out, she's meeting other young 20-somethings, and she meets this guy who she falls head over heels in love with. So she has this secret looming over her that she's really in her 40s, not 26. But what I loved about this show was, obviously, as a publishing hopeful myself, it was just really fun to kind of get like a glimpse into Hollywood's version of publishing. I think too, this definitely brings up the question about ageism in the workplace, especially for women. As men get older, they're seen as, gaining like wisdom and prestige and all of this stuff when they get their gray hair, and it's it's not seen as a negative thing. For women, it's not the same thing. It's not the same experience. For women, getting older, it means you're getting taken a little less seriously. You are not going to be looked at as somebody who can compete with younger people. And that's just simply not true. So it was a really fun way to have that discussion about ageism in the workplace. Honestly, this show was just a ball of fun. And they even bring up some big publishing names like HarperCollins, for example, or Penguin Random House. It was kind of cool to hear other publishing houses like mentioned in this TV show. This show features some pretty big names like Sutton Foster, Hilary Duff. They have great on-screen chemistry as friends. And oddly enough, I was pretty convinced that Hilary Duff actually worked in publishing. Not gonna lie to you, I was definitely convinced. I don't have any other books necessarily speaking, but if you're somebody who either one is also a publishing hopeful, if you're somebody who just genuinely likes to know about the industry, I think that you would enjoy that show. It is funny, it is sexy, it takes place in the high rises of New York City. I really enjoyed it. I spent many nights staying up late watching that show. So now I want to make a quick note that I know that all these shows are not on everyone's Netflix, and I'm not sure how different the lists look. Whoa, random, but we just got like a really big gust of wind outside. Sorry, our chair just fell over on our front yard. But anyway, I understand that not everyone will have access to these shows because in different places you have different TV shows. But if you do get the opportunity to ever watch any of these, I mean, please do, and tell me what you think. I will say that Younger is on Hulu, Younger is not on Netflix, but everything else is on Netflix. So yeah. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time. If you have any shows or movies to recommend to me, put them in the comments below. I will watch them because I have a winter break coming up soon, so I will have nothing but time on my hands. So between reading and watching TV, I need some new stuff to add to my watch list. So I'll see you guys later.